Would you rub beef fat on your face for better skin? As gross as that might sound, thousands swear by beef tallow for youthful, hydrated skin. And as a formulator who started DIYing with tallow back in 2011, I had to do a deep dive into this beefy skincare trend. So in this video, I'm going to share 3 beginner-friendly tallow formulations, break down exactly what science says about tallow skincare, and give you a free guide to help you start formulating with tallow at home. First up, what is tallow anyways? At its simplest, tallow is solid fat rendered from animals, usually cows or sheep. I've even seen bear fat called tallow, but by far the most popular type is beef tallow, and that's what we're going to focus on today. Now, obviously, tallow is not vegan or vegetarian, but it is an all-natural skincare ingredient that's similar in texture and feel to shea or mango butter. Soft, creamy, and easy to include in all sorts of DIYs. But here's the tricky part. Tallow can vary a lot. Depending on the breed of cow and its diet, your tallow might have a dramatically different fatty acid composition than the one used in a DIY recipe you found online. This means some tallow will be like this, while others will be more like this. Imagine carefully following a DIY recipe that was developed using this tallow, but you used this tallow. You'd end up with something really different from what you were expecting, and that'd be pretty frustrating, right? Because tallow has a lot in common with shea and mango butter, it can present similar challenges. Graininess, greasiness, melting issues, you name it. But don't worry. The formulations I'll share today will tackle those common issues, giving you practical solutions so you can confidently create smooth, luxurious tallow skincare products at home. I'll even show you exactly what to adjust if your creations turn out harder or softer than expected. Before we dive into why so many people are putting cow fat into skincare right now, let's start making our first formulation. A simple 6-ingredient body butter bar that blends tallow with a couple other skincare favorites. First, weigh out 25.8 grams of beef tallow. Next, we'll add an inexpensive oil to balance our formula's fatty acid profile. Beef tallow naturally contains high amounts of stearic, palmitic, and oleic acids, but it's much lower in linoleic acid, a fatty acid that's especially beneficial for skin barrier health. That's where sunflower oil comes in. It's rich in linoleic acid, helping to round out and improve the fatty acid blend of our formulation. You'll need 12 grams. Because sunflower oil is liquid at room temperature, it'll soften the mixture quite a bit. So, to firm things back up, weigh out 12 grams of beeswax. Beeswax helps solidify the formula into a convenient, easy-to-use bar. Beeswax can make the bar feel a bit draggy or sticky though, so to ensure it glides effortlessly and feels luxurious, we'll add 1 more ingredient. 9 grams of silky, slippy coconut oil. You can use either virgin or refined coconut oil here. Combine all these ingredients in a heat-resistant glass measuring cup. Place your cup in a water bath over medium-low heat and let everything melt together slowly. While our ingredients melt and mingle, let's get into why on earth people are putting cow fat in their skincare products in the first place. A quick Google search turns up tons of lists touting all sorts of skincare perks for tallow. High vitamin content, anti-inflammatory properties, anti-aging effects, and even the idea that tallow is uniquely suited to skincare because it closely mimics our skin's natural oils. 2 big advantages of tallow are that it's generally pretty affordable and easy to source locally. If cattle are raised for meat anywhere near you, chances are you can get your hands on some local tallow. That's definitely not something I can say about shea butter or coconut oil. Between that glowing list of benefits and accessibility, it's no wonder beef tallow is gaining popularity. Of course, it does have some cons, just like any ingredient, but before we dive deeper into whether tallow lives up to the hype, let's check in on our melting body butter bar. Once everything has melted, remove the measuring cup from the heat and quickly weigh in the cool down phase. To delay rancidity and extend the shelf life of the bar, add 0.6 grams vitamin E. Tallow is often praised for being naturally high in vitamin E, but it really doesn't contain very much, especially when compared to plant oils like olive, cottonseed, and wheat germ. So we're going to add more to ensure the bar stays fresh for as long as possible. Now, let's tackle what might be tallow's biggest weakness. its smell. Because tallow is a natural ingredient, its scent can vary widely depending on how it's processed. I've heard from some of my patrons that they've managed to find tallow that is virtually scent-free, but the version I'm using today has a subtle, yet distinct, meaty aroma. It doesn't exactly make me think, I want that on my skin, but my dog really likes it. To mask this smell, we'll add 0.6 grams of peppermint essential oil. This doesn't completely erase the tallow scent, but it helps disguise and distract from it. You can substitute another essential oil if you prefer, just ensure it's safe at 1% in IFRA Category 5A products. I recommend choosing a fairly assertive one that won't clash too badly with the smell of meat. Honestly though, when working with strong-smelling ingredients, your best bet is always to source the least fragrant version that you can find. Trying to cover up a really strong smell with extra essential oils rarely works and can even make things worse. So you might need to experiment with different suppliers or even re-render your tallow before formulating with it. If you have a source for high-quality tallow with no scent, please share it in the comments. I would love recommendations for people who have actually worked with a tallow rather than just relying on what a description on a website says. Once you've stirred in the vitamin E and peppermint essential oil, pour your mixture into a push-up tube or mold and allow it to set up at room temperature. The finished bar glides across the skin beautifully and is firm enough that it's hard to over-apply, which helps limit how greasy it feels. And that's one formulation done. If you'd like to get all the formulations written out, I've put together a totally free collection of all my best resources for formulating with tallow, plus the formulations with full written amounts and instructions. I'll send everything straight to your inbox. Just enter your email at the link below this video. Since tallow is soft and creamy, we can also make creamy butters with it. But there's a trick to ensure your butters are smooth and luxurious rather than gritty and gross like this. I'm going to show you how to do that with this next project for a rich tallow butter, plus teach you how to adjust your formulation if it's too hard or too soft. Begin by weighing out 40.8 grams tallow. Up next, to soften the tallow a bit and bring in more barrier-boosting linoleic acid, you'll need 18 grams sunflower oil. Combine the tallow and oil in a thick, heat-resistant glass measuring cup. That part is important. And then pop it in a water bath over medium-low heat to melt. With 68% tallow, this is our highest tallow content formulation. Many people who love tallow prefer high tallow content formulations to maximize benefits from the star ingredient. Anecdotal tales of tallow's wonders are easy to find. Lots of people have had great experiences and enthusiastically share their positive results online. But do the impressive sounding skincare promises actually hold up to scientific scrutiny? My curiosity took me down a seriously deep rabbit hole that led places I never thought I'd end up. At one point, I was reading a study detailing the fatty acid composition of human butt fat. And that was only the second grossest type of fat discussed in that study. That's something I will never unknow. When it comes to tallow, here's the reality. Very little research investigates actual tallow as skincare. This is not unusual. It's a really common issue when researching many natural skincare ingredients. Typically, when a study is cited as proof for a claim about the benefits of a natural oil or butter, that study is actually researching something the ingredient contains, like a vitamin or a fatty acid, not the ingredient itself. This creates a problematic logic chain that I ran into a lot when researching tallow. Tallow contains X, X does Y, and therefore, tallow does Y. Unfortunately, when I dug into the details, this chain often fell apart. I discovered that some claims were based on studies about ingredients that aren't present in tallow at all. Some were about consuming the thing rather than using it on your skin, which doesn't apply. Some were revealed to just be flat out untrue with a fairly small amount of research. But most commonly, the amount of the touted ingredient element present in tallow was far below the effective levels shown in studies, making it impossible to assume that the results from the study apply to tallow-based skincare. Tallow definitely has benefits, including some that are backed by science, but my research clearly shows that many of the more sensational claims about tallow, including boosting collagen production, closely mimicking human sebum, and high antioxidant content, they're just not supported by the science. If you really want to dig into this, I've written a truly massive article with a claim-by-claim breakdown and all my sources. That link's waiting for you in the description box below, but for now, let's hop back to our tallow butter and how to cool it so it's smooth and creamy instead of mealy and sad. Once the tallow has melted and the glass measuring cup is thoroughly warm, prepare an ice bath. We're going to use this ice bath to bring the butter to a light trace before pouring to ensure it sets up smoothly. Remove the melted mixture from the heat and stir for a minute or two to let the glass cool a bit before moving it to the ice bath. Stir for about a minute and then weigh in your cool down phase. Just like last time, you'll need 0.6 grams each vitamin E and peppermint essential oil. Return the measuring cup to the ice bath and stir constantly until you start to see small bubbles floating in the mixture and it begins to get a little hazy, so a light trace. At that point, pour the butter into a tin or jar. If you find your butter starts to get kind of chunky and uneven, that's a sign that it's cooling too quickly. So gently remelt it, making sure the measuring cup gets fully warm, and then slow things down by using the ice bath less next time. Leave the jar of butter on your counter to finish setting up for at least an hour, and then check to see how hard it is. Mine has a gorgeous, soft, buttery consistency. If you'd like yours to be harder, the most effective solution is to trade 1 to 5% of the sunflower oil for either stearic acid or butter pearls, a blend of stearic and palmitic acids. These are the fatty acids that make tallow solid. If your tallow is soft, it means that it has less of these fatty acids, so you can fix it by adding more. You could also try 1 to 3% of a wax, or if it's only a tiny bit too soft, just use a little bit more tallow and a little bit less sunflower oil. If your butter is too firm, use less tallow and more sunflower oil. Your butter can also be too firm or too soft because your home is warmer or cooler than mine. The same fixes apply. Now it's time for our last formulation, a lightweight, pumpable lotion that's super moisturizing. Emulsified lotions have lots of benefits in skincare. Their high water content is sometimes maligned as a cheap filler ingredient, but our skin actually needs water for hydration, so as cheap as it is, water in skincare does important work that oils simply can't. Emulsions are also far less sensitive to temperature fluctuations, so unlike our second formulation, you don't have to worry about them melting if they're, say, stored in a hot bathroom. And of course, it's much easier to make non-greasy formulations because the fat is diluted with totally non-greasy water. You'll need 3 ingredients for the heated oil phase. Weigh out 5 grams tallow. I know this isn't much, but there's a good reason for that, and I'll explain more in a moment. 10 grams sunflower oil, and to emulsify, 4 grams Ritamulse SCG, an all-natural emulsifying wax. There are just 2 ingredients in the heated water phase. You'll need 8 grams moisturizing vegetable glycerin and 70 grams distilled water. Combine the phases in 2 separate heat-resistant glass measuring cups or beakers. Weigh the water phase, write that weight down for later, and then heat everything through on medium-low heat. While things get toasty, let's talk about the elephant or cow in the room. If tallow isn't the magic skincare bullet some claim, why are so many people using and loving it? Well, despite the exaggerated claims, it does have benefits. It's a nice, rich, but not too rich emollient that is great at moisturizing the skin. And the studies that have been done about tallow as skincare confirm this. Keeping your skin moisturized is a big part of maintaining barrier function, and when your skin's natural barrier is firing on all cylinders, you are far less likely to struggle with skin issues like acne, dehydration, inflammation, sensitivity, and lingering wounds and blemishes that just won't heal. Everyone's skin is different, and comments from readers and viewers show some people's skin just really loves tallow. These people get far better results with tallow than they have with other butters and oils. Finding and using ingredients your skin loves is honestly one of the best parts about making your own skincare, and I'm really glad these people have found something that works for them. If you're a soap maker, tallow is also a great alternative to palm oil. That's primarily what I've used tallow for. I live in a part of the world that produces a lot of beef, and I love that tallow doesn't have to be shipped across the world to get to me like palm oil does. Once everything in the heated oil phase has melted and both phases are roughly the same temperature, weigh the water phase and use a bit of distilled water to top that weight back up to the number you wrote down earlier. Pour the water phase into the oil phase, stir to combine, and then grab your immersion blender. Blend for about a minute and then switch to hand stirring. While that thickens and cools, let's circle back to why the amount of tallow in this emulsion is pretty low. Basically, I've found that emulsions with an oil phase that's more than about 20 to 25% saturated fat tend to go from rich and creamy to crumbly and chalky over the course of a couple months. You can definitely try more if you want, but please be prepared to keep the emulsion around for a couple months to ensure it doesn't seize up as time passes. Now it's time for the cool down phase. You'll need 1 gram vitamin E, 0.5 grams peppermint essential oil, and to ensure the lotion doesn't grow mold, 1.5 grams Optiphen Plus. If you have a pH meter, it's a good idea to check the pH of the lotion to ensure it's in the good for skin and good for our preservative 4.5 to 5.5 range. When made as written, it should land in the 5 to 5.5 range thanks to the Optiphen Plus pulling the pH down a bit. Once that's done, package it in a pump top bottle or squeeze tube. With our 3 lovely formulations done, we're down to the big question. Does tallow live up to the hype? After all my research, formulating, and reading, I have to say the answer to this question is really personal. Tallow in skincare has not been studied extensively, so I can't point to any big studies proving that it is or isn't an absolutely fantastic skincare ingredient. But this is the case for most plant oils too. From my research, many of the more sensational claims about tallow are unfounded. What little research there is on tallow in skincare specifically acknowledges it has moisturizing properties and may have promise helping with skin conditions like dermatitis and psoriasis, but does not support it being a uniquely excellent skincare miracle. From my experience using it, it has some pluses and some minuses, just like every other ingredient I've ever used. I think the best way, the most helpful way to think about it is as a soft, rich emollient, similar to shea butter or mango butter. So if you're interested and want to try it, go for it. You just might fall in love. Just make sure you get tallow from grass-fed cows. From my research, it's much more likely than grain-fed to contain higher levels of vitamins and desirable fatty acids. Drop your email below, and I will send you all the formulations we made today, plus more info on what to buy and my best tallow formulating tips, tricks, and resources for free. If you've already tried tallow skincare and love it, carry on. I am certainly not here to yuck your yum. And if you've tried it and didn't understand why everyone else was so excited, that's about where I'm falling on this one too. Either way, I'd love it if you shared your experiences in the comments. Tallow is not going to become a staple of my skincare pantry, but it's cheap, accessible, and loved by many, so I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. Now, this lotion we just made is a bit too thin for a jar, so if you want to make a rich, emulsified body butter with tallow, something that works beautifully in a tub without the risk of spillage, definitely check out this video next and just use tallow instead of shea butter. Bye!